This is a DeVoe Custom Home.
Custom homes in Central Florida. The fancy, the luxury, choosing all your options. But what really goes into a custom home? What makes them different? Today we're taking you on a tour of some of the most amazing custom homes in Central Florida by DeVoe Custom Homes. You're going to see a recent sale of a nearly $6 million property and learn about some of the amazing finishes that went into that home, as well as some in a little bit lower price point here in Laureate Park, Lake Nona. What's the difference between a custom home and a production builder home?
Obviously, the finishes are nicer. You're able to choose whatever you want, really make it your own.
The house that you sold in Lake Florida on Blue Water Run. Tell us about some of the design and finishes that went into that property.
It's just under 15,000 square feet, 7 bathrooms, 7 bedrooms, and 2 half baths. There's 2 casitas, so there's plenty of room for all of your family and friends. And it's just enormous. Like, walking into this house feels like you're almost in a hotel. His motto was bigger is better. So everything was bigger, everything was better. The 2 casitas were great because he has a lot of family that would stay with him. So those are all things that he customized to make the home fit his needs.
The dramatic part for me in that home is the kitchen, how it's part of like a giant atrium space. That must have been something they had to achieve, structurally with all that open space, right?
Because the home is so huge, it's hard to communicate with everybody. So there's iPads on every wall that control all of the amazing features in the house, such as lighting, music, phantom screens.
And that's all hardwired Cat 6 cable.
Exactly. So there is one floor upstairs that is the electric control room that has all the wiring and everything that controls the house in there. And it's absolutely crazy.
One of the questions a lot of customers ask us from all these relocations from different markets, California, New York and stuff is, can I build on my lot? And I know sometimes finding the dirt is some of the most challenging part.
Finding the land is the hardest part, especially here in Lake Nona right now. We're getting some more lots in the country club as of this year, so those will all be some new projects that we'll be working on in there. We obviously have our base finishes and base floor plans that we come up with for you, but once we have the floor plan set up, you're able to customize everything from there on out. As far as the flooring, the railing that you want, we do all Thermador appliances, so you're getting the best of the best.
Okay, but say the customer, you guys have some lots coming up, which we'll talk about a little bit later in this video in Laureate Park, which are pretty cool on the water. But if the customer found their own piece of land somewhere, right, is that something you guys could build on?
Absolutely. We can completely customize it. We'll start you off with our architect, Dave, that will help you put together your floor plan and design the house exactly how you want it. And then from there, decide on what finishes you want, some of the upgrades that we can provide for you, and we'll help you pick those out so you're not on your own.
And on the DeVoe Custom Homes website, you can see some of the projects they've done in Lake Nona Country Club and this Blue Water Run house that Kayla just resold for the highest price in Seminole County, right?
Yep.
In 2022. That's amazing. And you might have your own ideas for what you have in your mind as far as your custom home. So that's definitely on the higher end though, right? To do that clean sheet and really spec everything out. I mean, what are some of these homes costing in the country club that you guys have built? I know you have one going on the water.
We do a lot of renovations as well. So a lot of the older homes in the country club, we like to renovate those and make them look really new and modern. And sometimes those projects can take a little bit longer. But if you're starting from scratch, one of our newest builds from start to finish, that is going to be on Lake Nona Shore Drive. It's overlooking the water as well. And that's nearly $6 million. $6 million.
I mean, when you look at an actual Lake Nona in the country club, plus all that custom design finishes and lots of square footage,
exactly.
That makes sense. Okay, and trickling down now to still luxury price point, but not that ultra luxury price point for Central Florida. DeVoe's been able to build some modern farmhouses that we were part of, right?
Yep.
In Laureate Park. I feel like they analyzed some of the production builders out there that were doing a very high quality product, but they wanted to take some of their custom features and inject those into these production builder floor plans.
Price point's a little bit lower, and obviously the homes are a little bit smaller, but we still use the same materials and finishes that we use in the country club for some of the bigger builds. So you're getting amazing quality. And another thing that we do is we maximize the space. So we make the most of the square footage in your home so that it feels bigger and so that you have more room.
We got some footage here of a couple of those builds because of those customers were allowed us to film both during the construction and a little bit after. And you can see they have different elevations, right? When some of the dark finishes, that was pretty neat. And the copper roofs, I really like that. One of my favorite parts inside these was the dramatic 2-story foyer.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the customers even did the glass railing, modern, edgy, with those shinier finishes. Some others chose to do the essence of the modern farmhouse with more woods and wood grain, and they actually chose a lot of those features themselves, right? The finishes.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of our customers, they get to pick exactly what they want, essentially building your dream house.
So first of all, the base finishes, like a lot of times that can be kind of a letdown in some of these production builder homes. Even in the higher price point, you know, you get carpet here, this or that.
Most of our customers are really happy with just the base package alone, but obviously they like to make things their own, do a little bit more. Sometimes people want a little bit more of a luxurious feel, such as the porcelain tile floors and the glass railing throughout. For example, we use the same cabinetry that we use in the country club, and those are all imported from Italy.
They're working with the designer, right? Or your internal team, and they're coming up with ideas. I remember one of the websites they sent them to for like the countertop and the backsplash selection. They said, go check these out, or they meet with someone and say, which one do you like? Being able to make those decisions sometimes a little bit later in the process, maybe a material was no longer available or you changed your mind. Production builders don't let you do that. It's like, nope, we already ordered it. That's what you get.
Yeah, we try to be really flexible with our customers, and if they want to change something, we'll make it happen.
There's always a cost involved,
Exactly.
right?
There's always a cost involved, and upgrades they can add on a lot.
I mean, when you're making your dream home and you get to choose everything, and sometimes you don't know how it's going to look till you get a little further along in the build.
And then you might decide that you want something else, or something else might complement this better. So that's the beauty of being truly custom.
Stuff you don't normally think about in a production builder home. You get to kind of design that ahead of time. One customer did the electrical outlets near the toilets because they wanted the Japanese toilet.
We make our master bedrooms and bathrooms and master closets huge. I mean, when you walk in the master bedroom, you're already amazed, but by the time you make it to the bathroom and you see the closet, you're like, wow, I need this house. At least that's how I feel walking through our builds. The closet space amazes me because I feel like that's one of the main complaints these days, is that closet space is never big enough.
When I saw the sketch of this floor plan and I was told this is going to be a really big closet, I said, yeah, they all say that. But when it got built out and it has the built-ins in it, my wife definitely wanted a bigger closet after seeing this house. They even had this cool little room above the garage, some call it a frog, a front room over garage, where it's still air conditioned, but it kind of steps down, and some people made it into a playroom. And one customer even did hidden library door there. And you guys might be getting some more lots where you could evolve that modern farmhouse in the future, right?
Absolutely. We actually have 2 lots currently right now. It's a 3-story modern waterfront home. And these are really nice because the master bedroom's on the first floor, you have the kitchen on the second, and on the third floor, you have a 5th bedroom and a gigantic outdoor lanai space.
But this one takes advantage of the water to the front.
Exactly. And that's why we made those 3 stories. And there's a giant deck on the 3rd floor. You can even put in a little jacuzzi and really make it just a super lounge space for just entertaining or even just relaxing on your own. And the great part about that is we're also adding in fireplace up there, overlooking the water. It's something that we really don't have in Laureate Park right now. So I'm excited to see these go up.
And it's located so close to the center of the neighborhood, so it's got emphasis on walkability, more urban setting, but you're still getting a good amount of square footage with the triple stack and the higher end finishes. The same stuff that we were just talking about in those modern farmhouses.
I believe we're doing a glass wine cellar in all of them, and that's with our base price, so that's exciting as well.
What's the process like? If someone sees one of these opportunities, where do they start?
Start by calling me. Then we have a brief conversation. I'll kind of tell you a bit about us and what we do, as well as the builds that we have coming up. I like to just introduce people directly to the builder and meet with them over lunch and just kind of talk about some of the ideas that we have for them. Once we get to that point and they're really serious, they'll just leave a deposit to hold the lot.
Which includes pricing out some of the any major upgrades they want to do.
We give you the opportunity to upgrade these. If you're available, if you're in the area and you're not out of state, we'll take you through some of our current builds and let you see what we currently have going on. This way you can actually see what it would be like when you go to build your home.
Which is so powerful, because looking at renderings is cool and visualizing, but when you can walk someone through an existing custom build and say, this is kind of what your finishes might look like, albeit if you're walking them through a $6 million home, just remember $1.5 to $2.5 million home might not look exactly the same, right?
For example, Justin, remember when I invited you to one of our more recent builds in the country club? So we got to check that out. His style was extremely modern, very clean, white, really high elevation. When you walk up to it, you just feel really small. So he did a bunch of mosaic work, and there's a different art piece in every bathroom of the home. So you get art all over the home. He did Van Gogh in the kitchen. And like I said, these are all custom mosaics that we did. So we found somebody to do this for him, and we made it happen. That's what we mean by custom.
Instead of saying to the customer, well, that's all we can do, that's what you get, it's like they find a way.
We find a way to make it happen. Exactly. So he was really happy with that. He got the lighting he wanted. I know that he wanted adjustable lighting in every room, any color. Yeah, it was really great to see that going from start to finish. I got to see him the day he was moving in and how happy he was.
And going back to that 2015 build, the Chuliota house you just sold, it didn't feel like it was even 6-7 years old. It felt like it was just built.
Yeah, it felt like a brand new home, actually. I mean, my seller, he was extremely immaculate. He took great care of the home, but he was a little bit ahead of his time in 2015 when he built that house. Like I said, ultra modern, very clean, industrial feel in the kitchen. It was just seamless. All A-grade materials.
Like the teak wood drop ceilings, and there's LED lights behind it. It's a lot of detail work after the build. We talk about it like it's so easy and done, and we show you all this video, but this takes a long time, doesn't it?
Those 3-story single-family homes, we're projected to have those finished by next year sometime in 2023.
Once a customer goes into permitting, that first bit can just take 3 or 4 months. And then the slab gets poured, and you start seeing it go up, which is the exciting part, but then all the detail work has to happen.
But as far as the future goes, we're going to be getting some lots in the new section of the country club, as well as you also have the option of purchasing a resale home and then having us renovate that for you to make it look new and modern.
Aha. And we just did a video about renovating older homes. So if you haven't checked that out, go watch it. She's absolutely right. I was privy to some of these, even 2015, 2017 homes that were by just basic production builder finishes that people spent a decent amount of money opening up walls and putting in high-end finishes. So it really felt like a higher end custom home on the inside, but they got the location they wanted. How would people reach you if they want to get started with a build?
All you need to do is give me a call at 407-493-5452. Or you can email me at Kayla@theorlandopa.com.
Thank you again, Kayla, for coming in today and telling your story and sharing all these amazing custom homes videos with us. We look forward to more.
Thank you for having me.